Hello, this is Flavor Sausage. That's the nerd. Welcome to my channel. Hope you're having a great day or great evening. I hope life is all well for you. At my channel, Real Juicy News. Every day at 4 PM we bring you the latest, craziest, funniest, sometimes bizarre and totally insane news from New Zealand and all around the world for you to enjoy, for you to chew on. We have the Essenes of Qumran channel, which is based around all the major religions and their claim facts, evidences, and truths being exposed if they're full of hype, fluff, or just outright BS. Okay, and bringing you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, the whole truth, the real truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay, and we also have another one about the new you. You know, if you have problems with your health, we have some suggestions, the best suggestions actually, from experience, for you to try them. Okay, and we're going to cover the fluff, hype, and BS in that genre as well, if we can, where we can. So, subscribe right now to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our cool, informative videos. Okay, simply tap on the geek. Okay, you see them somewhere around here, probably on the left, usually on the left. So 2 thumbs up, bifocals on the Farrakhan type, so you don't miss out on any great videos, great video content. And leave your comments down below in the comment section, because we really value your views and your opinions and your advice, which may help us present our videos better and also bring you the news, information, etc. that you really want. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe to our channels, whichever one this goes up on, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible if you make comments in the comment section below. Okay, today, well, I actually had this idea quite a while ago. Belief system, or Christianity wise, from reading the Bible, etc., that we're supposed to have come from, or descended from, the first man and woman, Adam and Eve, according to Genesis, right? According to the religions, according to Christianity, Judaism. Because they disobeyed God, they were booted out of the Garden of Eden, or paradise. Okay, they were told not to eat of a certain fruit, and they disobeyed, i.e. they sinned. So we having descended from them have inherited that sin, right? It's like a virus that's in our blood, or DNA, or genetics, or wherever it's supposed to be, right? Which causes us to err, okay, to transgress God's, the divine deity's laws, okay, His commands. Okay, supposedly everybody's affected by this. So I was thinking about it long and hard, and I thought, well, of different ways discovers different tools, different keys within the Bible that hint at you becoming less sinful. And what was that scripture? If you're still sinning, you're not of God. You have no part in God, because the seed of God has been planted in you, so you cannot sin. And this is how you can differentiate the true children of God and those of the devil, and so forth, so forth. So I was thinking about it, I thought, yeah, okay, and I'm still, doing the usual, doing the wrong thing all the time. Like St. Paul was saying, I try to do the right thing, but I always end up doing the wrong thing. So yeah, it's basically the same thing, always trying, but still, doing the sinful thing, the wrong thing, making the wrong decisions and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so thinking about it longer, and then I come across supposedly that the ancient Essenes, the Essene cult, supposedly where the Dead Sea Scrolls were hidden by them in caves in Qumran, and they discovered its variations on who discovered it. Well, supposedly a camel boy, but yeah, there's so many different variations. I came across this in my search to find out more about it. I came across this ebook, by phys.org, I suppose. I guess it's something like physiology or whatever. It's called Ancient Parasites, Cleanliness, Sickliness. Ancient parasites show that cleanliness may have been next to sickliness. And it states, ancient parasites show that cleanliness may have been next to sickliness. This is quite old, 13th of November 2006. Recent, again it's quite old, archaeological findings at the ancient Dead Sea settlement of Qumran confirm the existence of a strange communal latrine, it's a community toilet, located at a remote distance, conforming with the extreme hygiene practices described in ancient texts, and possibly accounting for a documented early mortality rate at the settlement. The Essenes, a strictly ancient Jewish sect devoted to religious purity and linked to the Dead Sea Scrolls, are one of the most interesting and mysterious religious elements in Judea around the time of Jesus. Recent articles and news stories have questioned long-established scholarship about the Essenes and their relationship to the scrolls, arguing in particular that the inhabitants of the ancient settlement of Qumran, located in the Dead Sea area where the scrolls were found, had no relationship to the religious sect. Now, new scientific findings from the settlement connect Qumran to details in the scrolls and give direct evidence of Essene culture at the site. The discovery may also provide a window into dynamic relations between sects, religious practices and communities' health. The forthcoming report presenting new bioarchaeological evidence from Qumran reconfirms the Essene hypothesis by showing hygiene practices in the ancient community. The evidence points to the Qumran inhabitants' detailed obedience to unique, rigorously demanding precepts that are specified in Dead Sea Scrolls texts and also documented in Roman era descriptions of the Essenes. In an article forthcoming in the next issue, Winter 2006-2007, of Revue de Qumran, an international research team reports the results of an investigation of a suspected remote latrine site. Yeah, I think something like they did the crucifixion, crucified Jesus, and the two robbers or two thieves or whatever they were, two convicts. The latrines were like placed way away from it, it's like some ritual thing, traditional thing, whatever, some rule. So Located by following clues in the ancient sources that specify the remote placements of latrines, the team positively identified the site as a latrine area through analysis of subsurface source samples. University of North Carolina at Charlotte biblical scholar James Tabor suggested the investigation at a site outside the ruins of Qumran, noting instructions in two of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the War Scroll and the Temple Scroll. You can probably get hold of them free online and look it up to verify that it's in there. Specifically requiring latrines to be located at a significant distance northwest of the city, and also to be not visible from the city. Tabor had also noted that the first century Jewish historian Josephus described very similar exotic toilet practices among the religiously strict sect known as Essenes. Okay, supposedly Josephus, a lot of people say he's not reliable, his texts aren't reliable because maybe later Christians have got a hold of them and changed things, to prove that Jesus existed. Okay, because it looks like someone else's. There's a different writing style. When Josephus first starts off, he's got a certain style, and then it changes, totally changes later on, something like that. It's like St. Paul, right? You have his to start off with, and then his style changes, so it's assumed that it's somebody else writing under the name of Paul. Not so much fraud, but pseudepigrapher, someone who's called Barney, not well known, no one's going to take any notice of him, but if he signs his name as Paul, then it'll be a bestseller. But yeah, that's why Paul in his, I think 13 letters or something, he realised in his time that someone was putting out fraudulent letters saying it was his writings, put his name to it when it wasn't, so he had a key element that when you read his letters, right, to different churches, it actually says, I, Paul, servant of the Most High God and Jesus Christ, a couple of clues like that, that's a hint to show his readers that that's him. And that's why Bartley Ehrman, I remember, says that it's 13 letters of Paul, and out of 13 I think he said 7 they've proven that that's Paul's, the rest aren't. And he says you're not fraud, it's just, if your name's Barry, no one's going to take notice of it. So you might want to rewrite the style of Paul, you admire him so much, or you just call yourself Paul, use that name, so you'll be a bestseller and people take notice. Okay, Tabor had also noted that the first century Jewish historian Josephus described very similar exotic toilet practices among the religiously strict sect known as the Essenes. Analysis of the site by Israeli paleopathologist Joe Ziz, soil analysis by Stephanie Hart, I don't know how to say it's French, I guess, a French parasitologist from the Centre National de la National Scientific Research Centre or something, confirmed the area as an ancient latrine site through the presence of desiccated eggs from 3 distinct human species, specific intestinal parasite species. Findings have further implications regarding community health in the ancient settlement. Visiting Qumran, Tabor noted an area approximately 500 metres to the northwest of the settlement, which seemed likely because it was sheltered from view by a bluff. Tabor also noticed that the soil in the area appeared to have a significantly different coloration from the other soils in the Qumran environs, a fact which was subsequently confirmed by Zeiss using high resolution aerial photographs. I started thinking that in the scrolls they have these very explicit descriptions of where the latrines have to be. Tabor explained that it has to do with religious ritual purity. The latrines have to be located in a place that the ancient text designated as outside the camp. That's a phrase used in the Torah when Moses tells the ancient Israelites, build your latrines outside the camp. When you go to the toilet, take a paddle or a shovel with you and use the toilet and then cover it up, he said, explaining that the ancient practice appears to have been revived at Qumran. This group is very strict and they observe this practice rigorously. In one text it says go 1,000 cubits, in another text 2,000 cubits, and they specifically state northwestern scrolls. Josephus, in talking about the Essenes, mentions it as a point of admiration and piety. He says that these people are so holy that on the Sabbath day they won't even use the toilet. Oh my gosh, hold on to it all day. Because on the Sabbath one can't go outside the settlement, he said. It turns out if you go northwest, Qumran, you get to this bluff, a large natural plateau, separated from further cliffs, and if you go around, it hides you from the camp. One of the things Josephus says is that they also believe that their latrines should shield them from view of the camp. So I thought, this is getting really good. If I could just find some evidence for toilet practices. Okay. And he goes on to some more. One possible concern was that the latrine area could have been used by Bedouins who are known to have been near Qumran, said Zayas. However, according to Bedouin anthropologist Professor Arif Abu Rabia, Bedouins are generally not known to bury their human waste and fecal matter left on the surface quickly dries up and is broken down by the sun and wind. This stuff was certainly buried, as ancient documents say it should be. Yeah, there's a difference there. Okay, Zayas noted that the heavy daily digging by the Essenes left its mark on the desert in a way that is still noticeable more than 2,000 years later. I went there and the entire area looked like someone had ploughed it. The earth was so nice and soft, while the rest of the desert was very hard, he said. In fact, I broke my pick collecting control samples from the other areas. And some more information here. The graveyard at Qumran is the unhealthiest group that I've ever studied in over 30 years, and this is readily apparent since I was Zayas, who has done previous work on the Qumran burials. For example, 2,000 years ago in Jericho, 14 kilometres to the north, the chances of an adult male dying after 40 were 49%, but when you go to Qumran, the figure for people surviving to 40 falls to 6%. The chances of making to 40 differ by a factor of 8. And yet we are told that these men arrived very healthy. They had physical examinations coming in. The people at Qumran thought that you could look at body types and tell what kind of person you were. Josephus tells us that the Essenes were selective. You had to be 20 years old and you had to be healthy, Zayas noted. The puzzle comes together for Zayas when he combines the community's latrine practices with its near obsessive use of pools for ritual cleansing and bathing. Burying your boo-boos in the outdoors makes a lot of sense until you live in Qumran, Zayas said. What happens was that 20 to 40 people went out there every day over a period of 100 years. By burying the fecal matter, they actually preserved the microorganisms and parasites. In sunlight, the bacteria and parasites get zapped within a fairly short amount of time, but buried, the parasites can live in the soil for up to a year. Dead people pick up things by walking through fecally contaminated soil. It's like a toxic waste dump, and if you have any cuts on your feet, oh my. Well-defined community bathing practices, etc., etc. What's up here? Here's where things really get bad. Zayas explained, after they went to the latrines, they were required to enter one of the immersion systems, mikvot, before they came back into the settlement. Hygienically, that sounds like a good idea if you have fresh running water, but there's no running water at Qumran, only runoff which was collected during the 3 months of winter rains. They enter the systems where everyone else has been, with all the bacteria have brought in with them floating around. The bacterium, which usually doesn't last long in the air and sunlight, stays active or for a longer period in the sediments and is continually suspended in the water by people disturbing the pool. And it goes on. Essenes' rigorous ritual purification practices seem likely to have ensured that they too were contaminated by cross infections. The water there may have looked clean, but hygienically it was really changed and must have been very dirty, with the potentially fatal pathogens shared by everyone who was entering it for ritual purification. And mikvah cleansing is a total immersion, which means that it gets in your ears, in your eyes, and in your mouth. It's not hard to imagine how sick everyone must have been, so I said. Okay, so yeah, so when as healthy as everybody thinks they were, says they were. As a group, the men of Qumran were very unhealthy, but I think this would have been likely to have actually fed the Essenes' religious enthusiasm, said to board. They would have seen their infirmities as punishment from God, their lack of purity, and then have tried even harder to purify themselves further. Okay, so should we adapt those practices, those ideas? Who knows? A couple of thumbs up there on that one. Add your comments down below if you like what you've heard. Right? Okay, so going to go online. Here's Science Daily. That's what I found. I don't know how old that is. Okay. Biblical latrine, ancient parasites show that cleanliness may have been next to sickliness. Basically what we just read. Okay. Similar sort of stuff here. Okay. Oh yeah, it's about tabor, so yeah, basically the same stuff that just read out. Okay, but you can have a look at that if you want. I'll leave the link at the bottom under this video. Okay. This is parasites. What it says in the Essenes Gospel. I'll leave that link, all these links below. Okay. Over the past 3 years, a few members of that site have made reference to Christ's natural healing methods as written down in the Essenes Gospel of Peace, including in the dispatching of worms. So, whoever made this comment is now including my own take on this. I have the book beside me, and I quote, "In the ground where the sick people's waters flowed was polluted, and so great became the stench that none could remain there. And the devils left their bowels in the shape of multitudinous worms, which writhed in the slime." Oh geez, you don't really want to hear this, eh kids? In the slime of, go play on the Xbox, in the slime of the inward uncleanliness, or go watch some TV. And they writhed in impotent rage after the angel of water had cast them out of the bowels of the sons of men. And then descended upon them the power of the angel of sunshine, and they perished there in their desperate writhings, trod underfoot by the angel of sunshine. And all were trembling with terror when they looked upon all the abominations of Satan, from which the angels had saved them, and they rendered thanks to God who had sent his angels for his deliverance. Okay, looking at that, the angel of water. Okay, that, logic and common sense say, logic and common sense, it's just water. There's no angel involvement. Yeah, that's just the way they thought, right? The way they saw it. Okay, and what's the other one? Angel of sunshine. Would just be the sun, the heat. Okay, that's their way of thinking, and their mindset, the way of explaining it, writing it down. Okay, there is a detailed and wonderful account of an incredibly sick man near death, out of whom Jesus Christ coaxed a huge abominable worm, ending with, "Then Jesus took 2 sharp stones in his hands and crushed the head of Satan and drew out from the sick man all the body of the monster, which was almost as long as the man. When the abominable worm came out of the sick man's throat, he recovered at once his breath, and then his pain ceased." Okay, it's probably not actually Satan, it's probably metaphorical, right? Because anything that was cause someone's ill, right, that stated as Satan, believe it or not, Satan. But yeah, that's the way they thought in those days. They, much more in this wonderful book. The worms are repeatedly called Satan by Christ. Okay, I am leading up to something. Thanks for your patience. Yeah, well, that's where I sort of, well, not from this article, but I sort of got that idea of the claim that these Essenes believe that why you sin and all that sort of stuff, because he's a parasite in you, right, that controls you and all that sort of stuff. That's what the snake in the garden, they entered into Adam and Eve, and that's what it was. When I think of parasites, I think of worms, and to me a worm looks like a snake, and a snake is a symbol of Satan. One could conclude that all this Christian talk about that greatest of evil entities, Satan, refers to Satan finding his way into us. That's what it just said, Adam and Eve, through Adam and Eve, and then onto us, his way into us, through worms. Maybe it really is all about parasites, worms, after all. Am I getting too dramatic or reaching too hard? Well, I just found the Essene Gospel of Peace on the internet. Here she be. Okay. There's a reply. Snakes are also representatives of the goddess Mother Kundalini, the life force, energy and transformation. Okay. Reply to that. Well, Chaya, I guess you are correct about that, but I always wondered why just about everyone is instinctively repelled by snakes. I don't believe it is taught. I have snakes in my garden, good snakes that eat up mice and voles, etc. Also, they don't attack people ever. Even if you pick one up, it might give you a little nip, but probably not. I have held snakes but could barely stand it. I do not think there is something wrong with me over this. Everybody I know feels the same way about snakes. They feel a little sick when they see them. When I encounter skunks or spiders or any insect, I didn't have that rush of sickness I experience when I see a snake. Maybe all of this can be explained through understanding of evolution or something. I don't know. Thanks in any case will you comment on my post. Okay. I think the reason why most are afraid is mostly due to archetypal stuff. All the story and myth weaved around them, not unlike the tale and interpretation of the snake in the Garden of Eden. Besides, some are poisonous, and most of us do not know which are or which are not. And in reply to that, I've always called my parasites demons, my demons parasites. Yeah, another reply, it just goes on and on like that. I'm reading them all day, like I'm reading the Bible. Okay, so then, you got the biblical latrines, the parasites. So I was looking at, pulled up some rosemary. Rosemary? Yeah, well, we've got rosemary growing outside, right? Okay, okay, yeah, there you go. It's let's say crazy sausage, clever sausage. Yeah, and I pulled up. I guess it was grown. I can't tell the freaking difference. I garden, but I don't know crap, Yeah, I found this. I guess it's rosemary outside. I mean, have a little chew of it, see what it's like. Yeah, we're reading these parasite things. Yeah, not bad. You identified it as rosemary. This thing just went mental outside. It was like maybe like this when my mother planted it, I think. And then now it's just like forest. It's like, so I took some off and planted it somewhere else. In another corner, and it's slowly starting to branch out. Whereas I had what's that purple smelly thing? Oh my gosh, lavender in a pot, big pot, and I replanted and the frickin' thing died. So try again. It seems to grow wild and grows really well everywhere else but my house. Anyway, yeah, so it's kind of been chewing it. Not bad. I keep offering it to people, bunches. They go, yeah, cut it off, and then they leave and they didn't take it. So I was like, oh, waste of time. Anyway, so okay, not bad. I mean, it's not chicken, but it's alright. Yeah, put that down. I'll cut them down tomorrow. Yeah, everything in my house like that is made. Yeah, I gotta go out there and cut it tomorrow and dry it out, whatever, and put them in the jars, spare jars, whatever that's here. Use them for chicken and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so I found this. Just getting rid of me. Found this on rosemary, benefits, uses and side effects. Yeah, Yes, I've got a bit of an idea now. It's pretty good for you. Maintains your gut health, hair growth, anti-inflammatory. Yeah, good stuff. Okay. Helps enhance memory. Okay. Cancer, anti-cancer potential. Yeah. Reduce liver damage, all this sort of stuff. Balances hormones, skincare. Probably have to learn and make oils, antibacterial and antimicrobial. Yeah, good stuff. Good for mouthwash. Relieves pain, detoxifies the body. All this sort of stuff. How to use it? Ooh, rosemary butter. Okay, flavour the butter. Alright. I'm using hoops. Use this herb in soups, roast potatoes, chicken, rosemary salt. Wow. Make oils. Yeah, maybe sell them at the front there. Like a lemonade stand. Side effects: vomiting. Oh, haven't got that yet. Itchy scalp. Nah. Increased blood glucose. Nah. Muscle spasms. Nah. Don't have any of those. Okay, and then make cool. Make oil. Brilliant. Yeah. So actually found on YouTube a video here. This lady here, I think she's French. Pretty easy to understand. Why and how I've done parasite cleanse detox process. So I thought I'd give it a go. You know. I think she's got about 4 of them, as it says here. Yeah. So this guy said something, and I thought, oh, yeah, I'll put a comment under that. Where the hell is it? Put here, look. And get this lady to read it. Not this lady up here. Okay, here we go. Can I read it all?
Very interesting. Well, if they are fighting over us, do you think the actual demons are in us inside us fighting against us and make us do what we know we should be doing?
Wrong one.
But
put this one first. Okay. Who said it? Oh, yeah, this dude here. Okay, this guy here, Kelly Vitek. Yeah, this is what he said first.
God bless you, sweetheart. That early morning wake-up video was so special. If you had a book about this cleanse, I would buy it in a heartbeat. Interesting about the human dragon warrior thing. Just today it occurred to me that we as humans may each have an army of dragons, demons and warriors, angels fighting over us.
So I put a comment under that one. Right. Go something like this.
Very interesting. Well, if they are fighting over us, do you think the actual demons are in us inside us fighting against us and make us do what we know we should be doing? But don't, and they're making us to not want to? So if we do something like this cleansing, it might remove brain fog, etc., etc., and help us defeat those inner demons as written into the ancient books of the Essenes, and recently discovered in their ancient stomping grounds.
Yeah. So he'll reply back when he's reading this way. So where's that mistake on me? Okay. Okay. Fixed. Okay. Yeah. Have a think about that one. Okay. Someone sent me a nasty message, I think. What did they say? No. Just notification of the video, or whatever's coming up. Okay. So yeah, there was another one that I saw. Blah. Not that one. Which one was it? Was it one of the comments? Okay, let's see if it's got it here. Oh, here we go. We're going to look at this one. The Essene Gospel of Peace, Book 1. The original Hebrew and Aramaic text, translated by Edmund Bordeaux. This is Kelly, whatever year that was, International Biogenic Society. Okay, you have a little listen to this. Don't read the whole Bible, Qumran Bible.
And then many sick and maimed came to Jesus, asking him, If you know all things, tell us, why do we suffer with these grievous plagues? Why are we not whole like other men? Master, heal us that we too may be made strong, and need abide no longer in our misery. We know that you have it in your power to heal all manner of disease. Free us from Satan and from all his great afflictions. Master, have compassion on us. And Jesus answered, Happy are you that you hunger for the truth, for I will satisfy you with the bread of wisdom. Happy are you that you knock, for I will open to you the door of life. Happy are you that you would cast off the power of Satan, for I will lead you into the kingdom of our mother's angels, where the power of Satan cannot enter. And they asked him in amazement, Who is our mother and which her angels? And where is her kingdom? Your mother is in you, and you in her. She bore you, she gives you life. It was she who gave to you your body, and to her shall you one day give it back again. Happy are you when you come to know her and her kingdom, if you receive your mother's angels and if you do her laws. I tell you truly, he who does these things shall never see disease. For the power of our mother is above all, and it destroys Satan and his kingdom, and has rule over all your bodies and all living things. The blood which runs in us is born of the blood of our earthly mother. Her blood falls from the clouds, leaps from the womb of the earth, babbles in the brooks of the mountains, flows wide in the rivers of the plains, sleeps in the lakes, rages mightily in tempestuous seas. The air which we breathe is born of the breath of our earthly mother. Her breath is azure in the heights of heavens, sounds in the tops of the mountains, whispers the leaves of the forest, billows over the cornfields, slumbers in the deep valleys, burns hot in the desert. The hardness of our bones is born of the bones of our earthly mother, of the rocks and of the stones. They stand naked to the heavens, and the tops of mountains are as giants that lie sleeping on the sides of the mountains, as idols set in the desert, and are hidden in the deepness of the earth. The tenderness of our flesh is born of the flesh of our earthly mother, whose flesh waxes yellow and red in the fruits of the trees, and nurtures us in the furrows of the fields. Our bowels are born of the bowels of our earthly mother, and are hid from our eyes, like the invisible depths of the earth. The light of our eyes, the hearing of our ears, both are born of the colours and the sounds of our earthly mother, which enclosed us about, as the waves of the sea of fish, as the eddying air of bird.
Okay, and while I was listening to that, I actually read this bit here, which is quite interesting. Listen to that one.
I tell you in very truth, man is the son of the earthly mother, and from her did the Son of Man receive his whole body, even as the body of the newborn babe is born of the womb of his mother. I tell you truly, you are one with the earthly mother, she is in you, and you in her. Of her were you born, in her do you live, and to her shall you return again. Keep therefore her laws, for none can live long, neither be happy, but he who honours his earthly mother and does her laws. For your breath is her breath, your blood her blood, your bone her bone, your flesh her flesh, your bowels her bowels, your eyes and your ears are her eyes and her ears.
This is very interesting, and it goes on. Right, go way down here. We need more information here, too much, I think I'll be reading the Bible. So, yeah, go there, have a look at it. I'll leave a link down below for all the other ones. Yeah, and if you really enjoyed this video, found it was very informative, then please leave comments down below. As I said earlier, we appreciate your opinions, your perspective, your views. Okay, as long as they're nice, yeah, we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, and don't forget to give us a couple of thumbs up, just like the geek, right? And tap them, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any videos. Yeah, our great videos. Whether it be the icon be this nerd, potato lying on a couch, or Qumran laying on a couch, or another one. Okay, possibly those two, one of those two. Anyway, yeah. So 2 thumbs up. Okay, for thank you very much for taking the time to watch our videos. 2 thumbs up. Okay, 10 toes up. For that, we really appreciate it, and we will see you on the next video. Bye for now.